Welcome to the Byway Nomad. My name's Tony Ferrari and thank you for watching my videos. Hello good people of the interweb, this is the Byway Nomad. And also hello to those who are reading my newsletter, which was already covered what I'm going to do in this video, but more on that later. So what's this all about? Well, last summer I decided to resurrect the blog that I used to write some years ago. That was under the title of Nomad Racing and quite obviously was about my racing efforts in cross-country rally. It then developed into a way of documenting my motorcycle activities in general. And then after my diagnosis in 2018, the challenges of motorcycling with the neuromuscular condition myasthenia gravis. But after a few years it started to get a bit irregular. And then in 2023 I went to write something and realised I hadn't actually posted anything in nearly a year. So I thought, no, this is not worth it. I called it a day. But then I keep coming up with ideas that, I could put that in a blog. So last summer I thought, I'll start again. And the first one went out on a new platform on Substack. And to be honest, it bombed. I got 27 views in the first month. And we're now 7 months on from then. And it's still only been viewed 32 times. I mean, to give you a comparison, my old blog used to get over 1,000 views with each posting. And at times I was posting weekly. So clearly it was a bit of a wasted effort. So I thought about video. And now I'm the first to admit that my videos are pretty niche. But I do get a pretty good uptake. At the moment I've got 496 subscribers. Not a great number, but I'm quite pleased with that. And the other day I put up a video to explain why there hadn't been much on the channel. And it was literally a 90-second apology. But I got more hits on that in the first hour than I did on the blog. Still not a huge number, but it was encouraging. Now many of my videos, they'll get views in the hundreds. Occasionally I have a bit of an outlier, like my impromptu review of the BMW R1300 GS that to date has been viewed 13,500 times. So clearly that's the sort of thing people are looking for on YouTube. So maybe more bike reviews coming up in future. Watch this space. Now, I also put out a reel on Facebook with a shortened version of the apology video, and that got like 500 views in the first day. So I'm thinking there's clearly a demand for this medium. Actually, I went back and looked. 5 years ago, I made a short introductory video when I started Byway Nomad, in which I said I'd be making regular monthly updates. 5 years down the line, I better start. So, once again, I must apologise for the lack of content, both due to myself being ill, but also my 12-year-old MacBook finally gave up the ghost. But I'm going to tell you about my efforts to replace it and the frustration that has brought. So instead of being about motorcycling content, this is going to be a bit about the trials and tribulations of buying a new computer. So, having identified the best mix of specification, price, and the offer of a 0% finance deal, which was from my current phone provider, EE, I decided to buy the new MacBook from them. However, every time I went on their website and tried to buy it, I'd get error messages like, "It is not possible to add this item to your basket," or "This service is currently not available." So I rang up EE customer service and they could not work out why. And they were quite mystified. The best advice they could offer was try it in a day or two and see if it works. So I waited a couple of days and it did work. Except it went through, it took my deposit, it set up the finance agreement, and I got confirmation of both those things, but I didn't get confirmation that it'd actually been ordered. So back on the phone to EE customer service, and they agreed, I had paid a deposit, I had got a finance agreement in place, but no computer had been ordered. And apparently this was not uncommon. Their system seems to have a glitch. Anyway, they promised to get it sorted out for me, but it would take a day or two. That was Thursday, and they promised it'd all be sorted by Monday. Then that evening, I got 2 emails. One telling me that my deposit had been refunded, and sure enough, it was back in the bank. And another telling me that the finance agreement had been cancelled. I mean, what the actual... I mean, back to the website, and I discovered that the price had gone up another £100. So once again, I get on the phone to EE Customer Services, and to be honest, they were very good. They took pity on me, and because of the problems I had, they gave me a voucher for £100 to compensate. So finally, it got ordered. Laptop arrived the next day, and here I am, ready to get editing again. So thanks once again for bearing with me, dear viewers and readers. Now, the annoying thing was that I had loads of raw footage from all over the place. I mean, I had videos from Shropshire, Wiltshire, Gloucestershire, Hertfordshire, Herefordshire, Buckinghamshire, Northamptonshire, Oxfordshire and Hampshire. Yeah, been pretty busy last year. So the fact that I was ill for the last few months of the year, and the computer was ill, and I didn't get out on the bike at all, was no excuse. I still had loads to do. So, yeah, we're back on track now. So if you really appreciate what I'm doing, what you can now do is support me on Buy Me a Coffee. There's a link in the description. And to be honest, yeah, it'll cost you less than a cup of coffee. And you can also subscribe monthly for just £4 a month. And that's definitely less than a cup of coffee these days. Yes, you'll get my inane ramblings in the form of a newsletter in advance of the video, hence my referring to readers as well as viewers. And I've got a few further benefits in the planning stages, so watch this space. And of course, you'll be helping me to produce new videos because, yeah, they do have a cost involved. And you'll be helping to pay for my new MacBook. Thank you very much. So if you've already read the script in the newsletter, you're already helping me, and thank you for that. So what else has been going on? Yeah, certainly in the world of motorcycling. Well, many of you will know that I'm part of the organisation for RallyMoto. And at the moment we're running the ever popular Icebreaker Challenge series over the winter. It does involve quite a bit of constant work though. You can't just set up the road books and let them run for 3 months, because we're dealing all the time with road closures, with fallen trees, all sorts of issues. Relatively easy to change because it's all digital, so we do it on our app. We also had to investigate reports of locked gates on one route. Of course, we had to be certain that the people reporting it were actually on the right route at the time. Very easy to check their track and see where they were. And they were. The problem was they were trying to go through a locked gate that, whilst it was on the route, it wasn't actually part of the route. You actually went straight past the gate. The instruction was to turn left, but you actually went along a field edge and turned left when the hedge went to the left, not through the gate. So we had to make a few changes to the road book to make that clear. Then on another route, we have a large tree down that's not likely to be moved anytime soon, too big to move, so we had to divert around it. Just some of the things we have to deal with. Then in January, we started the 2026 calendar with our first adventure rally raid in the Cotswolds. Very successful. And we also reinstated the idea of, as well as the normal trail route, to have a tarmac only route that was quite separate. So some people don't want to get their bike dirty. They don't want to risk dropping it. And that's great. But they still want to experience the road book the road book experience. So this allows for nice country lanes, yeah, good views across some pretty stunning bits of countryside, but tricky navigation, speed zones, which bring consequent penalties. So all makes it very interesting and keeps you very engaged. So we're in the process of sitting down and planning our routes for the year, and we've decided that all adventure rally raids will now have a tarmac option as well. So if you're interested in either our roadbook led trail or tarmac events, check out the website rallymoto.co.uk. Again, there'll be a link in the description below. On my own bike front, my Aprilia was still very much in summer touring mode from when I went away in the summer. the stock Pirelli STR tyres, the bigger touring screen, panniers and top box. So last week I spent a few evenings in the garage and started to get it into winter condition. It now has Mitas Enduro XT Plus tyres, the standard screen's back on, the panniers are off, and fitting the tyres was great because I got to use my shiny new compressor that I bought last summer. Made the job very, very easy. The one job I didn't get round to was replacing the right hand heated handlebar grip, as the wiring had pulled out on a ride last year. Unfortunately, I went out on Saturday and my hands froze, so that was the job I really should have done. So thank you for watching my inane ramblings. This is now the Byway Nomad signing off. Stay safe out there. I look forward to seeing you in the future, either online or hopefully out on the trails.